Greetings, Kat here, and we are continuing our conversation about skills that you will be learning now that you are a narc abuse escapee, and how to gather up those lost or scattered bits of yourself that were discredited by the narc parent, especially. So, communication is essential to a healthy relationship, as well as the healthy work relationships. And a narcissistic partner or parent truly does not listen to a thing you say. You don't matter to them, only they matter, and you are in their life strictly for them. So learning how to have a positive communication entails the greeting of yourself first, the listening to yourself. And I have that in a video just most recent. Click on my name, just get to the videos, go to whatever was in April of 2024, right? The next thing that the narcissist partners and parents do not allow are healthy emotions. They do not allow you emotions at all. In fact, they disempower you, and you learn then how to give your power away. Energy in motion, emotions, energy, emotions. You're not allowed to have them, or you're scolded for having them with a narcissistic parent, especially, and you are not at all emotionally supported by a narcissistic partner. Ever. Ever. And if you think you are, think again. Really think again. You're being duped. They do not support you in any way, shape, or form. So you have to support you. Okay? So let's talk about emotions. If I, as a child, actually expressed anything other than being blissfully happy, I was reprimanded. If I exerted any preference of any kind, I was condescended upon with words, and I was reprimanded. So we're going to learn what healthy emotions are. And you know something? Healthy emotions are any emotions that you actually have. So you have to learn to tune in and discover what your emotions are. Now, I most recently had a little shock to my system. Excuse me while I rearrange myself here. I've got a canvas in the way. It's a blank canvas. We will be painting again, because now I have more time on my hands. The universe set it up that I would be working part-time at a health food store, and then it was purchased by a corporate a-hole, and they canned me. Not because of performance, or not because I didn't invest in the store. If they were actually astute, which they're not, they would have looked at the amount I actually purchased through the records and measured it against my hours worked, and would have realized I was reinvesting my money that I earned working there into the store. But because upper management dupes had their heads up their asses, because they probably came from privileged homes and never had to work a hard day in their life or clean a toilet, that must be why they put their heads up their asses, so they know what SHIT smells like. So, I am angry, but at the same time, you know what it did to me? It helped me release. It helped me release the energy that I was putting into an establishment that wasn't my own business. And my own business has been, for the last 19 years, working for myself. But when I got news that I had been let go, I cried. And that's a healthy emotion. It's healthy to cry. And when I was with a narcissistic partner, the marriage that I lasted longer than my children's father's marriage, I thought I loved this guy. He brought out some of the best of me, but he also brought out not the worst, but my inability to take a crap. Speaking of SHIT, I became terminally constipated until he went to work on Monday. And so as a business owner, I didn't work on Mondays so that I could spend half a day crapping out everything I stored from Friday through Sunday. That man dictated my every move. He was a control freak. He would tell me how to garden. He would tell me how to prune. He wouldn't allow me to buy loppers that worked because he could, with his man muscles, make that poor bush scream by chop, chop, mangle, mangle, chop, chop, mangle, mangle, rather than choo. So it would be essentially like sawing somebody's limb off slowly as opposed to hacking it off like a guillotine. I don't want to get morbid on you or anything, but sometimes those sorts of measures work. So what's happening is that I'm just making this little snippet. I hope to splice it into another video and make an iMovie out of it, so that you, my dear listeners, actually start recognizing within yourself what emotions were not allowed by your narc parent. Think about it. And what emotions does your partner, if you're still with a narc, emote on you, and they won't take responsibility for their crapola? My narc partners wanted to be able to criticize me, ridicule me, express their anger at me and towards me without me being able to defend myself or deflect myself, because I was their target, and that's all I was ever going to be. Now, before I got off of online dating, I tried all of them. And maybe now it would be different because I have a different set of criteria or criterion or whatever it is. But number one is the men that are online are sexual predators. They're sexual deviants. And they're used to women giving up sex in less than 2 weeks because these women are giving away their bodies out of desperation to be loved. It's sick. And since there's enough women that will do that before they develop an emotional connection, then we know these men are shallow, and why would I want to bother? But what I learned about going out there and experiencing that was my value. I am priceless. I'm a Chanel. Why do I need to be on a Walmart clearance bin when I'm so amazingly priceless and magnificent of a human that only humans that would recognize value can recognize my value? And so the people who are born with spoons in their silver spoons, and then they put their heads up their asses because that's where they're looking for reality. I should know better by now. And now when you know better, you do better, correct? So communication is something you never have with a narcissist or a partner. They will talk over you and at you. So the conversational art you must learn yourself by truly listening to yourself. And that does require quiet time. And that does require being honest about how you feel. And I cried, and I was like, why did they let me go? And I realized it wasn't personal. And then I dug deeper into the fact of the matter that I had been putting energy into an establishment that wasn't actually paying me my value and worth, even though I was willing to work for $20 an hour. My worth is double, quadruple that for what I can actually add to them, the sales I was doing with my ability to reach into a person. And while I spoke to them and walked the aisles, I wasn't just ringing up sales on a cash register. I was talking to that person. I was creating a relationship. I was creating intimacy so I could look into them and discover what it was they needed. And so what happens? The universe says, no, you learn to listen to you. And so I am going to go for a walk in the woods And I am going to do what it is that I'm going to say to you now and again. Again, you're going to learn the art of conversation with yourself and learn how to have a healthy sense of self and allow yourself the emotions, even the so-called negative ones. What? We're being medicated for having healthy negative emotions? God forbid you actually have anger. Not the God I want in my life. The evil, demonic, fake one. The big pharma one that drugs children for being children. And the disempowered parents who disempower their kids. Who don't allow them to have emotions. This whole system needs to collapse. But it already is. It's collapsing before our very eyes. When a valuable person isn't seen for the value that they're given as an intrinsic part of a network of health providers, in this case I was working in a health food store, an independent mom and pop that was purchased by a millionaire, who then only understands dollars because, again, you know where his head is. He has to look for reality where his head is, up his B-U-T-T. Excuse my vulgarity, everybody, but I know wealthy people, and I know that they actually think that we ones in the lesser echelon of financial families, they actually think we're not hardworking. They actually think we're lazy. They actually think we don't apply ourselves. They actually think we deserve what we don't get. And this world is so effed up. So I am providing, this is a little rant, and it will stand on its own, but I will also use parts of this video to stitch into the one that I'm putting together on iMovie. It's how to repair yourself, how to do your own spiritual kintsugi, to pick up those pieces of yourself that were rejected by a person who doesn't value them or value you because they can't see you, they don't know you. And again, we know where their heads are. In their own S-H-I-T. So I'm sending my listeners love, those of us, whether we are living with a narc or whether we've escaped, we can claim being a narc abuse escapee. I'm not a narcissistic abuse survivor or a thriver. I'm an escapee. I escaped. I realized what a S-H-I-T deal it was, and I got out at the peril of my own physical well-being, in one respect, financially, but then at the triumphantness of my physical well-being. My physical well-being isn't constipated with my second one. With the first one, my physical well-being isn't constantly being thrown anger darts. He was always throwing anger darts at me. And I would say, please stop coming home angry. Stop blaming me for your life. Stop punishing me because you feel like you got a bad hand. You're not even grateful for what you have. You're not grateful for this beautiful woman who gave birth to 2 beautiful children, a girl, a boy, one of each. What more could you ask? He's not happy until he got to be the big kahuna. But you know what his price is? He looks like an old man. He looks 12 years, 13 years older than me. Not the 3 he is chronologically. And he's decrepit. An S-I-C-K. And yes, his head is up his B-U-T-T-E. I don't know why I added that E there. Yeah. The husband number 2, I couldn't take a crap. And then that last bad daddy, the big galoot, the klutz that broke things, I was getting high blood pressure. My adrenals were shot. Look at my earlier videos. It took me 2 years to get my voice calm again. It's a little bit shrill right now because I've been through a shock. To have invested energy into a new job and only be 4 weeks into it before you're let go? Let go? Because upper management is down low in their butts? Hopefully you think this is funny and you enjoy it as much as I am making it. Because I know a thing or two. And my life is glorious. It just doesn't look like it from the outside. From somebody who would judge me that's from a place that's never had to actually clean a toilet. I mean, the stupid prince in England has his own ass wipe. He doesn't even wipe his own butt. And he's a snoot. And he never was treated Diana right. We all know that wasn't an accident in the tunnel. And speaking of tunnels, that's where they all belong. They belong in lowly, disgusting sewage tunnels. Those rich fucks that think they know the world, and they don't at all. And they certainly don't know us at all. I love you, my audience, and I know what I'm dealing with, and I have been through hell, and I kept going. And I am a narc abuse escapee, and I've been let go.